So I built my first SaaS, but dang, did I mess up a lot along the way. I want to take y'all through some of the mistakes that I made as I was building my first SaaS. And I'm not embarrassed to admit these things at all. I think that failing and learning from your mistakes is definitely part of the process. And it is why I am okay building the first one, learning a bunch of stuff, and then applying those failures to my second, third, fourth, fifth endeavors and learning from them and improving on them. So I'm going to share 5 of my greatest failures, if you will, during this first SaaS attempt. And hopefully this will save you from making some of the same mistakes as you're building your applications. So let's hop into the first mistake, and that is going to be in terms of marketing. And marketing is incredibly broad, but I want to talk about something in particular that I wish I had done differently as I was building my first SaaS application called Dinnerbee. And your marketing is going to be different depending on what kind of product that you're building, but Dinnerbee is a B2C application and it's a web application. And so in terms of marketing, I'm mostly focusing on organic social media marketing that is on TikTok and Instagram and other short form platforms. And in particular, the mistake that I made is not doing marketing as I was building the product. And what I mean by this is by the time I finished building Dinnerbee, I didn't really have anything in terms of marketing material. So now I had this finished product, but now I'm having to go and make all of the content that I'm going to be posting on social media. And I really wish I had spread this out throughout the process. I don't even think I had to necessarily post all of these pieces of content as I was building. If I had been collecting ideas and just making short form content, maybe even just like 1 or 2 videos a week, so that by the time I was ready to launch, I had all these videos ready to post, that would have put myself in a way better position to hit the ground running with all of this marketing material. So that is absolutely something that I will be doing next time around, is creating content as I am building the product. And this is really nice too, because you can just take something like a feature that you're building, make a short form video about it, whether it's a skit or just some other way that you're incorporating your application into like an actual TikTok video. Keeping a collection of these and then having them ready when you are finally finished with your product is going to be a really powerful thing that I'm excited to do the next time around, because I'm having to go back and create videos about like certain features or just anything that the app can do. And partly it's nice because it's all finished and I can wrap things up a little bit nicely. But to summarize, if you are going this organic short form video marketing route, definitely make marketing material as you're building the product. Okay, on to my second mistake. This is more in the validation phase of building an application. And to be honest, I didn't really do any validation because this product was mostly just something that I wanted to build for myself and my girlfriend. So I wasn't really going into it with the mindset of, oh, let's just go make a bunch of money. So I didn't really validate the product at all beforehand, which is okay in some situations. And I think in this situation, it is okay as well. But what I do wish I had done is not necessarily go out and try and validate and try and find customers beforehand, but at least go and figure out who my competitors in the space are and what they are offering. This is something that I didn't really do until like 3 to 4 months down the line, is even just like Google who my competitors were. And once I did that, I started to realize what they were offering and how my platform was kind of falling short in comparison to these other platforms. If I had done that research up front, I definitely would have built some different features into my MVP and made those more of a priority in the first version of my application. There wasn't really anything that my platform could do that was standing out against these competitors, and that would have been really valuable information to know when I first started building. So at the very least, in my next iteration, my next SaaS that I'm building, I will be researching the key players in the field, in the niche that I am building in, joining their email list, going to forums where maybe their customers hang out. Like if there are subreddits or Facebook groups for users of the platform, I can go see what they're talking about, see the things that they like about the platform, see the things that could be improved upon. And just doing that kind of research up front is going to be really, really valuable for when I'm designing the MVP for my next product and figuring out what features I need to build. I can't remember if I said it, but also join email lists of your competitors. You'll be able to see what your competition is working on, and it's really just a great way to keep tabs on the industry that you're building in. Moving on to the third mistake that I made, and boy did I make a lot of mistakes, but for this third one in particular, I'm calling this moving goalposts. And there's nothing more frustrating, and this isn't necessarily just for building SaaS, but in life in general. If you have goals and then those goals get shifted because of the criteria that it takes to fulfill those goals, that is absolutely something that happened the first SaaS that I was building. I went into it with a pretty light MVP in terms of features that I wanted to build, like the core set of features. And I did that, and then I still didn't launch the thing. I kept adding new features or fixing little bugs and essentially just procrastinating instead of just launching the thing. And this is definitely something that I've heard reiterated by other folks who are building SaaS, especially earlier in their SaaS journeys, is it really just doesn't feel like you've done enough if you have an MVP sometimes. And it's just a mental block and a mental barrier that you have to get through. Just launch the thing. Stay true to the core set of features that you want to build. And this also goes back to the last point I was making. If I had done a bit more competitor research, I think the initial goals that I would have set would have been a little bit different, and I wouldn't have had to modify them down the line, and I would have been way more comfortable and way more confident with my MVP launch. On to the fourth mistake, and this definitely ties into the last one of moving goalposts, but this is just generally taking too long to build a project. Obviously, if you got some moving goalposts and you are continuously adding new features, it's going to take longer than you had initially anticipated, but I think sticking to a tight timeline, maybe a couple months if you're building something that's not too crazy. The application that I was building was nothing fancy, so it definitely is something that could have been built in like 2 to 3 months, but the longer it takes to build something, normally the more motivation you lose over that longer period of time. And that's definitely what started to happen after a while, where I just wasn't necessarily as motivated to pick it up and work on new things. So sticking to a nice tight timeline is something that I'm looking to implement in my future iterations. And I will also say that, I work a 9-to-5 job and I do a lot of things outside of work as well. So all of this building happens before and after work and sometimes on the weekends. So trying to figure out a schedule and a flow that works for me personally is something that I struggled with a little bit in this first iteration, and I want to try and improve as I go forward. The one thing that has worked really well for me, and this might work well for you too if you're struggling with this aspect of it, is just setting very dedicated times throughout the day consistently. So for myself, working a 9-to-5 job, setting around 2 hours of dedicated work towards working on my SaaS after work sometime, after dinner, is a good way to implement structure, and it's something that has worked for me because I can normally focus better later at night than I can in the morning. So yeah, just something that has worked for me. Okay, moving on to the final mistake, and this is more so I guess on the marketing side, the validation side, the pre-planning stage of building the SaaS. And this is, I didn't really define my ideal customer and my messaging, my marketing messaging enough at the beginning of the project. And so by the time that I built my landing page, my sales page, I think some of the messaging that I had was a little wishy-washy. And so a really concrete example of my poor messaging is I have been reaching out to influencers on YouTube to do sponsorships for the application. And in my initial communications with them, I've described what the platform is and what it intends to do. And when they get back to me, they say, hey, all that sounds great and it sounds like it would really resonate with my audience. But when I go over to your website, I'm not 100% sure I understand exactly what it does. Like, I understand what you're saying to me, but the messaging on the website doesn't really communicate that same message that you're trying to tell me. And honestly, that was really great feedback, and I was glad that I was able to get that feedback from multiple folks who are honestly saying the same exact thing. So I really wish I had hammered down exactly who my ideal customer is and what my messaging is beforehand so that I could create this better sales and landing page. But now I'm having to go back after the fact and rework some things to better communicate to potential customers what exactly Dinnerbee can do for them. So while I definitely made some mistakes during this process, like I said, I am not embarrassed to share them at all. I think that these are things that anybody could run into anytime building a SaaS application, but I'm really happy that I was able to recognize these things, kind of reflect on the past few months of building this application, and make sure that I don't make these same mistakes as I go into the future and build more SaaS applications. So I hope you were able to gather something from these mistakes, and hopefully you won't make them as well, because they can waste a lot of time and maybe slow down momentum and motivation. So avoiding things like these are definitely going to help you in your journey. If y'all have made any other kinds of mistakes throughout your building journeys, definitely leave them as a comment down below. I would love to read them and respond to them and just talk about some of the things that we could do better in the future. But just wanted to thank you for watching all the way through. Definitely subscribe if you're into building software and trying to sell it on the internet. That is all the kind of content that I make here on this channel. So thanks again for watching all the way through. Really do appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one.